Howdy, friends. This is the Magic City Motormouth, Fast Eddie Layne, with your invitation to join yours truly, along with Mark MaBo Bowman and the Oracle of Ominous, the Wicked Nemesis, every Sunday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 3:30 p.m. Pacific, for Beyond Ringside Live. Wrestling, mixed martial arts, sports talk, and a whole lot more. Keep your eyes open on BeyondRingside.com for all of upcoming show information, and of course, catch us on social media as well. Until then, we'll see you this Sunday, 6:30 Eastern, for Beyond Ringside Live on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network.
Welcome to the original Rockin' Wrestling Radio Show. Welcome to Beyond Ringside, your source for wrestling, MMA, and boxing in the Southeast. To contact the Ringside Roundtable of Beyond Ringside, email them at beyondringside@gmail.com. And now, your host for Beyond Ringside, the man, no myth, all legend, Fast Eddie Layne.
I want to say greetings, good evening, how you doing? On an incredible Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, all of the above, and a lot on the plate. Let's get right on into it. Live from Studio One, yours truly, the Magic City Motormouth, Fast Eddie Layne. Welcoming in tag team partner, the one, the only, Mark MaBo Bowman. What's up, my brother?
Oh, if I was only 20 years younger, 23 years younger.
That would probably put the girl you're chasing after into the jailbait category even
no,
further.
No, I was not chasing after her. I was like, how old is she? What? Okay. I'm walking away from this table.
Slobber, slobber, drool, drool. That's what you did.
No, it was, hey, she's underage, dude. Don't be trying to put me like that, because I swear to God I'll go off on you. Not even playing.
There's no going off.
No, you're trying to make me sound like
You're not.
A pedophile.
You're not.
I told you. I found out how old she was, and I'm like, Pontius Pilate. Wash my hands, walk away.
Oh, wow. You went there on that one.
You didn't think I was educated?
No, I just never expected that particular reference out of you. It's like, that's amazing.
What you don't know about me could just about fill the Grand Canyon.
And I know quite a bit about him, but not nearly as much as I should, and there's a ton of stuff that I'm afraid to find out. But first off, thank you to everybody listening in this evening through BeyondRingside.com, and of course catching up the affiliate system all the way through, ProWrestlingRadio.net, TuneIn Radio, UStream, and of course the Beyond Ringside Radio app for Amazon, Android, and BlackBerry. Full plate and then some. Corner to Corner going to be going live tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central Time. The Midnight Black Mass is taking a night off. I had a great conversation with the Reverend Dan Wilson just a few minutes before we went live here on Beyond Ringside Live.
How is Daniel doing?
Doing wonderfully well. He's been doing a lot of work with Why We Wrestle over in Cornelia, Georgia, at the church.
Nice.
I do find it quite poetic to the fact that that the good
Who
Reverend
he is and where he's at.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is he still doing Get Your Pulls?
I did not have a chance to ask him about that one. I know that there was one released recently, but I'm not sure when the next one's coming out. I know that he's also.
I wasn't sure because I would, I guess him being a comic fan as well. We're just going to take a little detour here, real quick, kids, because we all are comic book fans. But one, I wouldn't mind hearing his opinion on the revelation that Captain America has been, quote unquote, so far, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, working for Hydra all this time. And then, of course, this past Wednesday, DC dropping their DC Rebirth, where they are retconning stuff. I don't know, but spoiler alert. We'll give you, and unless Eddie, you cared.
No, go ahead.
Okay, well, 5, 4, spoilers 3, spoilers 2, spoilers 1. All right. Of course, for those who don't know, DC did almost, 4 years ago, they did the New 52.
Right.
Which spun out of Flashpoint, which, by the way, awesome comic book series, all of the books that came out of Flashpoint, and wonderful DC animated movie. But then you got the New 52, and then you had, what was that Schneebitz-Fernum that happened about a year or so ago?
I really don't know.
Convergence.
Okay.
Convergence, where they kind of retcon stuff a little bit, but now everything's like Superman's dead, like dead, not old DC Death of Superman dead. Like the New 52 Superman is dead. But here was the weird thing: they had started a book where Lois, Clark, and their son from the old DC universe somehow showed up in the new DC universe. So they're saying that Superman is going to become Superman.
Okay.
So the old DC Superman is going to be the new Superman in Superman, whatever. But just from what I read of Rebirth, there's 3 Jokers running around. New 52 Joker, which at one point was possibly a demon. We don't know. For those of you who remember The Killing Joke, which is about to be released as an animated movie, the first rated R DC animated movie, he's running around, and then it looks like maybe like the 50s Joker, 60s Joker, I don't know.
Right.
But there's three Jokers running around, but they have Wally West returned because Wally West had disappeared when New 52 started over, or when the New 52 started. Wally West had disappeared, but then they brought in a black kid as Wally West, which they eventually kind of made happen in the TV show.
Mm-hmm.
But now Wally West, OG Wally West is back, but the black kid is still there as Wally West.
Okay.
And they explained that about how Iris, which was Barry Allen's wife, her dad had an uncle or something, or he had a brother or something, uncle something, and basically they both had a relative named Walter. So that's how the white kid ended up named Wally West, and the black kid named, I think they're like second cousins or something.
Okay.
But he's going to be in the new Teen. He's going to be in the Teen Titans book that's getting rebirthed. The Teen Titans themselves in the New 52 had completely been evaporated. Like there was, like nobody remembers that team. Wonder Girl gone, Wally West Flash gone, Kid Flash gone. All this. Well, they were basically erased from time, but now they're showing back up, as well as the Justice Society, because they did have a Justice Society book, but it happened on Earth 2.
Right.
So all this stuff that had got erased and changed is starting to come back and fill in, and they're incorporating the Watchmen. If everybody remembers that comic book series, Alan Moore's The Watchmen.
Right.
That is now going to be officially in the DC universe. They're sort of retconning that in, because in the comic, Batman's in the cave and he's in the Batcave and he goes over to his cave and he kind of digs out. If you remember the comedian, the guy that got killed at the first of the movie in the comic, and he had that little smiley face button with a drop of blood on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Batman finds that in his cave, like stuck in a wall. So what it is it turns out that Dr. Manhattan created the New 52 universe to reset things. So they're kind of going back to their old stuff, but then they're having some new elements added.
Right.
Like Lex Luthor is now going to be, I think he's going to be in Action Comics as a Superman, but he's wearing the Lex Luthor robot suit, but it's blue and it's got the red S on it. And then there's 2 super weird looking heroes that are going to show up in Batman, and the hero's name is Gotham.
Okay, I've got to ask it. I'm not cutting you off, but how long did you warn people that the spoiler system was going to go for?
Did I say spoilers over?
No.
Then no.
Then you kind of need to let people know that you're still in spoilers.
Well, I mean, I hadn't said spoilers over. So.
Well, you've got people that tuned out for a second, and I'm hoping they tuned the hell back in.
Well, I'm pretty sure if they're comic fans, they've already read all this. This is just for the few who hadn't made it to the stores yet or whatever.
Right.
But, hell, a lot of places did, including Kingdom Comics over near Vestavia Hills.
Right.
A lot of places did a midnight release party for DC Rebirth. So.
Now, when did this officially go public?
Last Tuesday at, I guess, Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, 12 o'clock.
Okay, so Kingdom. Okay,
week.
for our friends in Birmingham, Kingdom Comics is still around, right? For those who don't know.
Kingdom Comics has never gone anywhere. Bob's, even though Bob's Comics in Trussville, they've been around. He's been around the longest. And then you've also got, and he's like, literally, if you're coming through Trussville, headed to the Roebuck Centerpoint area on that back road that runs into, what's that hospital, Eddie? St. Vincent's East?
I believe so.
Yeah, Bob is right there in a flea market. Not going to say what gun shop / pawn shop he's next to, but his wife runs Schmeschel Smirmingham.
That made no sense, and keep going.
Schmeschel.
Then let it go and keep going.
Let it go. But that's where Bob is. And, of course, Kingdom is over in the Vestavia Hills area.
Yeah, because for years, weren't they in Hoover?
No, Kingdom's always been in that spot. They're right down from the bowling alley over at Vestavia Hills.
I know where you're talking about.
Yeah. It goes, Stan and my man crush, Albert. They're great guys. Bob's a great guy, too.
So if I walk in there and mention your name, they won't throw me out?
Yeah, well, if Albert's there and you say, Bowman or Mark Bowman, yeah, Stan kind of knows me, but yeah, Albert knows me. But if you walk into Bob's and you go, hey, I know Bowman, you'll probably get this look on, Bob will get this look on his face and start laughing and then apologize. He'll be like, I'm sorry, you know him. Kind of like you guys do to me, with everybody else. So.
No, we don't do that to you.
But, we try
to put you over, especially with cute girls.
Yeah, just make sure they're overage.
They are.
Arms are optional.
Oh, damn.
But, to kind of bring it back, at one point on this network, the Reverend Dan Wilson had, or I guess technically still has. A podcast called Get Your Pull.
Correct.
And so I was just, with Dan being a comic, aficionado, I would like to hear his opinions on, that and the hydrogenization of Captain America.
Well, tell you what, we can, if it wasn't so, we could have actually, if I'd have known in advance that's where you were going to go, I could call him, but.
Eddie, do I even know where I'm going?
I never know where the hell you're going to go, and neither do you.
I don't even know where I'm going right now, and we are live right here on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network, www.beyondringside.com.
And?
Tune in. Oh, wait, you already are, so stay tuned. You never know what we're going to say or what we're going to get accused of.
Yeah, pretty much. Shifting gears real quick and shifting topics. By the way, was there anything else that you wanted to make a reference on the DC thing?
No, I'm just saying it's going to be interesting for those. I never really had an issue with the new 52 as far as the DC thing. I didn't like when the Joker, was like supposed to be like a demon or something, but he's just supposed to be a crazy man. Can nobody appreciate, the homicidal maniacs anymore? I appreciate them.
I do too.
I also look up to them and worship them, but that's beside the point. But we've got a lot to talk about, a lot to cover on the wrestling front. I know last night out in Pell City, Alabama, Global Championship Wrestling presented Global Warfare?
Yes, very much so.
Yes, Global Warfare.
And you were there and you had to ask that. Volume
6. If you, it's okay though. If you miss the first 5, you can, you'll be okay. So, but yeah, a lot of stuff went down. A lot of stuff I called into question. I don't really know how there's now a interim commission Emmys. I don't like that.
Okay, let me go ahead and clarify that, because I actually had a conversation last night after everything was said, done, and over with, because I was really kind of curious as to what was going on, because I was kept in the dark on this completely. And the Reader's Digest condensed cut. Apparently, Commissioner Bullet Bob Armstrong felt that I was too close to the situation based on previous actions that I had taken during my tenure as commissioner, and he wanted to make sure that there was no bias whatsoever that could come back on the commissioner's office or the front office of Global Championship Wrestling. So basically, in a very clandestine manner, he went to the Oracle of Ominous, the Wicked Nemesis, and that begrudging relationship and friendship that's there, professional relationship between Bullet and Wick, came into play when he basically said, look, I can trust you to be neutral. And if anything happens in this circumstance, feel free to act in my behalf as long as you know that it's the right thing to do for the company and the right thing to do for the match. And that's the way it was explained to me. And when the situation occurred last night in the main event, the cage elimination match, which I'm not going to go too deep into, Wick basically utilized the authority that had been granted to him on that night, or for that night, I should say. So as far as it goes with interim commissionerships and that was, to my knowledge, that was a one-night wonder.
That's what I said, the interim commission. He's the interim commission, Emmys.
So,
but, see, this is what, I don't know if it didn't, maybe I just didn't hear it, or, whatever, but I was confused as to the fact that it was down to Dan Sawyer and the ever effervescent Mr. O'Hagan.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, the ever inconceivable O'Malley was the one that got pulled into the ring and pinned. And then I found that out as well, because what had happened basically, even though it was down to one-on-one, when the match was restarted, it was restarted, all parties intact, sudden death. Yes, that's what that was what was later explained. So, but I mean, at first though, I was just kind of like, well, that is ridiculous, because Kawana, get a better referee, screwed up again and got in the way, got knocked down. Which I'm curious to see how that footage looks, considering he was wearing the breast cam. Well, freaking Klutz-Wanowitz there, just getting in the way, screwing everything up. And then you had a fair and unbiased referee with J.P. McGregor. And same thing. Okay. And that was a painful line. I think, honestly, it was fair and just, and the right decision was made. He refused to count 3 when Sawyer had O'Malley down. Refused to count. Had O'Hagan down. Maybe he, as he stated before, he is a former, multi-time GCW heavyweight champion. You're right. Final Intercontinental champion. So, you know what? Maybe the man's having a little, rotator cuff or shoulder issues, Eddie. I mean, come on. Maybe he's having attitude issues. Huh? Maybe he's having attitude issues. Or maybe he was having other issues, and his, you don't know what medical conditions, you don't know what drove him out of professional wrestling. Okay, do me a favor, hold that. No. Shh, let me finish. No, actually, let me do this, then you can finish. Folks, okay. If you don't know what we're referring to, last night, during the main event, the Steel Cage Elimination match, GCW senior official Bernie Kawanowitz was inadvertently struck and basically smashed into a corner, rendering him incapable of continuing the match. Mark, don't say it. From there, we had 2 additional referees at ringside, J.P. McGregor and Timmy Feldman, the other guy. And from that vantage point, McGregor came into the ring to pick up where Kawanowitz had fallen down and gotten smashed. There was a moment in the match where Sawyer, Mad Dog Dan Sawyer, one half of the tag team champions, powerbombed Mr. O'Hagan, had the pin, 1, 2, and then for no reason whatsoever at that point, or for personal reasons, which are being divulged on social media as we speak, he stopped counting. Now, MaBo, go ahead. Or maybe, like I was saying, old aggravated injuries, which more than likely a lot of them were probably caused at the hands of Sawyer on poor J.P. McGarticle. And so he's sitting there and he's like, there's no telling what, ramifications. So he's, hold on, I can't count, maybe back spasms or, the shoulder and the rotator cuff was catching or whatever. And I can almost guarantee you that when McGruber there stood up to adjust to make sure that he was okay before he could continue, that sorry sack of potatoes, Mad Dog Dan Sawyer probably looked at him and said something off color, because maybe it's I've heard that J.P. McGoogles there is related to somewhere's on the line one former GCW referee Arnie Epstein. So I guarantee you, maybe, I'm not saying he did, maybe something anti-Semitic was said. I don't know.
Come on.
I'm just saying, it's possible. I can guarantee you, though, that Mad Dog Dan Sawyer said something to JP, which infuriated JP, causing him to have to super kick, proper attitude into Mad Dog Dan Sawyer. And then, praise the Lord, his injury was healed and he was able to make the count. Just saying.
After Sawyer was ambushed and then O'Hagan got the pin, 1, 2, 3. Amazingly enough, he was
Eddie, ambushed, or hey, if somebody says something to me, hurtful, I'm going to take a swing at them. You don't know. JP's a redhead. They have tempers. You don't know what's going to happen.
Oh, see, now you're making ginger jokes.
No, I'm just saying he's a redhead. They're fiery. They're, he's half Jewish, half Latin, half Irish. Who knows? So, all I'm saying is, and I can almost guarantee you, back in the day, Mad Dog probably bullied poor JP, and JP just had enough. He momentarily lost his cool, and kicked Mad Dog in what's supposed to be his neck, but it's more of his jowls. And then JP regained his composure, realized, oh, maybe I made a mistake. Mr. O'Hagan, being the second best ultimate opportunist in pro wrestling next to Edge, much props, pinned him, and then JP's like, well, I have a job to do, so he counted the pin. I saw nothing wrong. You know what I saw? The only thing I saw wrong in that match,
what?
Before it was restarted by Commission Emmys, was the simple fact that the hateful speech that was spewed at JP by Mad Dog Dan Sawyer, thus resulting in the super kick.
And from that vantage,
now hold on. Now, if the interim Commission Emmys or Saggy Bob Armstrong want to, maybe levy a small fine against JP, I'm sure the legally Howard C. Cross will make sure that's either A, overturned for just reasons, or B, make sure it's covered. But also, I think Mad Dog Dan Sawyer should be fined for what he said to JP McGregor.
Are you in cahoots with the Brotherhood too?
No.
Did Josh offer to get you laid or something?
Sadly, no.
Did O'Malley offer to buy you a set of ugly-ass boots?
No. I'm just saying, both myself, and you know what? I was not alone. Tunzi was with me, and Tunzi observed the exact same thing.
And that's something.
So you know what? And you know what? And if you can't believe Tunzi, who can you believe?
I believe you and Tunzi both are in cahoots in the situation. I love Tunzi to death, but he will back you up even if you say the Titanic didn't sink.
I'm just saying, man.
Of course, more often than not, it would be Tunzi that says that the Titanic didn't sink, and you would swear to that.
I'm just saying, man. It's just there was some shenanigans. Oh my God, that's a fat guinea pig. I'm just saying that there was some, from mad justice, there was an injustice on the Brotherhood.
Okay. But let me also go ahead and say this. Hell of a crowd last night. Thank you to everybody who made it out to Global Championship Wrestling in Pell City. Look, there were some great matches on the card last night, and some that I genuinely, and I said this to some people last night, there were some matches that I had a blast doing the call on alongside of Wicked Nemesis. And let me go, but by the way, for the record, as the record stands, after the match was restarted, Mad Justice did successfully retain the World Tag Team Championships and the GCW Tag Team titles. From there, because of I believe, count-out situation, Veronica Fairchild retained the that's right. Because of Veronica Fairchild was counted out of the match last night, Amber O'Neal Gallows was declared the winner. However, in Global Championship Wrestling, unless the stipulation is agreed upon in advance by all parties, championships do not change hands on countouts. So, Veronica Fairchild is still the GCW Ladies Champion. Amber O'Neal, of course, successfully defending the NWA Women's World Championship. From there, in a hell of a match, Eric Wayne successfully retained the GCW Heavyweight Championship against the Kryptonite Killer, Michael Steele. But I've got to sit back and throw this one out there. Jack Gunn, Mike Posey, excellent matchup. These two guys went at it from start to finish. Logan Creed and Joey Lightning proved themselves to be a viable tag team combination, even though they came up a little bit short against another duo that teamed up for the first time last night, Ace Haven and the Dream Chaser, Dylan Cook.
Now, can I say something? Can I say something? Let me take a sip of water.
You're going to take a swipe at this one, aren't you?
I am convinced that Joey Lightning is a time traveler.
Okay.
Because he is obviously the child of Naomi and Jimmy Uso, or Jey Uso, whichever one, who has grown up and has traveled back in time and is trying to work his way to the WWE to be with his parents. Deny me that.
Okay, dude, that was funny. That was effing funny.
I mean, and Tunsey pointed out that even after all these years, Joey Lightning still hasn't got that ugly tattoo finished on his back.
Now, let me also, from that vantage point, also one other match, and I deliberately am saving this one for last. Big K, Kelvin Holmes, has been doing everything he could to promote in a balanced manner the match that he was going to have last night with the Mystic Mudbone. And he even openly admitted that he knew he was going to be in for the fight of his life. But you don't win if you don't fight. The bell has to sound to start the match before you can find a way to win the match. And he knew it was going to be an uphill battle. But I'm going to sit back and say this. Rook, and I say that with respect on this occasion, because Kelvin's inside his rookie year, but he fought like a pro last night. He and Mudbone went at it back and forth. And I have to tip my hat to Big K. Hell of a fight last night, hell of a match last night, and Mudbone, I cannot say enough about this individual. He showed a side last night, and actually I will say this, I'm really going to say there was more depth to the personality of Mudbone last night, and this has been an ongoing thing. Bone is one of the true professionals in our industry. I mean, I will sit back and say this. Wick will always make the reference, if you have a bad match with Josh O'Hagan, get out of the business. I say the same thing about Mudbone. If you have a bad match with Mudbone, get out. You're done. Because I've seen this man work with so many different styles across the ring from him, and he's just been absolutely, I mean, you know, either you like him, you love him, you respect him, or you damn sure hate him. And the kids love to run and hide from him because, you know, he's not a nice person. But from that vantage point last night, Mudbone showed why he is the consummate professional, and Big K showed why he's got one great future ahead of him. I mean, my hat's off to both of them. Those two guys just went at it. MaBo, you and Tunsey were there. You go ahead. Your thoughts on the match.
We tried to warn the kid. We tried to warn the kid not to get in the ring, and he didn't listen. And so, you know, he got his butt beat. But no, Eddie, you're wrong. You know when you do run away, that is when you do win. If you're in a match against Mudbone, plain and simple. If you run away from a match with Mudbone, you win. That's it.
But you don't get a W in the win-loss column.
Yeah, but you know what? You don't get the hootie booty put on you either. All right? I mean, you know, Kmart Holmes there freaking got the hoodoo voodoo done all over him and the chicken bone necklace laid on him. Ain't no telling what that's going to do to him. So
I've got to sit back and say this.
I mean, let me tell you this. You know, Tunsey and I were lucky to be graced by the presence of one Cabana Man Dan.
I was going to bring him up.
Yes, and if anyone knows about the voodoo powers of Cabana Man Dan, or of Mudbone, it is Cabana Man Dan. He was at one point his thrall. He was under the power of the Mystic Mudbone. So much so that it caused him to cross-dress one time. We're not going to talk about that. So,
do me a favor. We're at the top of the hour break. Make it quick.
So I'm just going to say, you know what? Kmart Holmes, keep running. Just go ahead, go back to your day job. Whatever, they made you cut your hair. You look better.
No, actually, nobody made him cut his hair. The Brotherhood cut his hair for him.
Mm-hmm. I'm just saying. All right.
Folks,
we're at the top of the hour break. Folks, we're going to take a quick one. Eddie's going to go pee on a tree. I'm going to go make sure the guinea pigs have got something to eat. And we will be back right here on Beyond Ringside.
This is Jim Cornette. You are locked into the show of all time, Beyond Ringside.
When planning your next party or special event, insist on the best. Full Range Entertainment is a professional entertainment company providing a full range of services. From professional disc jockeys and MCs to catering and photography, when the details of your special day must be perfect, call us first. Wedding receptions, corporate parties, school functions, birthday celebrations, and more. We also have Birmingham's largest selection of karaoke tracks available. With over 40 years combined experience, Full Range Entertainment can provide you with the talent and professionalism you need and deserve to make your next event one you'll never forget. For more information on the full range of services we offer, call 533-HITS. That's 533-HITS. Or check us out on our website at fullrangeentertainment.com.
This is Dr. Tom Pritchard, and if you want to listen to the best in professional wrestling, get locked in to Beyond Ringside.
And welcome back into Beyond Ringside Live on this 29th day of May, 2016. Fast Eddie Layne over here. Mark MaBo Bowman, welcome back.
If you thought the stories that come out of the car trips with myself, Eddie, and Schmidtke were funny, Eddie, you've been replaced.
Tunsy
Schmidtke and I, yeah. And I don't think Schmidtke appreciated me farting in his vehicle.
Depends on what you had to eat or drink.
Did it even matter at that point?
Probably not. Oh, by the way,
by the way, how did your night go?
Oh, wonderfully well. And
yeah.
I would also like to go ahead and sit back and say a very special thank you to whoever it was that left Rockstar energy drink cans in my car that I know I don't drink. And also, I know this is probably totally unrelated, but there was also money missing because I inadvertently left a bag underneath my driver's seat, and there was money missing out of it. So right now, Pell City Police Department has the 2 cans, and DNA testing is going to be run. So we're gonna work on that little concept. But from that vantage point, that was the only real negative, other than me probably losing about 2 pounds of water weight from running all over the damn place last night. But taking it back full circle, seriously, it was great to have you and Tunsy there last night. It was great to run into Cabana Man Dan. I want to pick the perfect word to put in front of, but a person.
Hey, Eddie?
Yes.
Eddie, do me a favor. We need to go to a break real quick.
Okay. Why?
We'll be back, guys. Just trust me on this, guys. We'll be back in literally 5 seconds.
Okay, be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, wrestling fans from around the world, I'm Lightning Mike Quackenbush, the master of 1,000 holds, and you're locked in for Beyond Ringside.
The To Be Determined show live Wednesday nights, 9 Central Standard Time. Join myself, the Oracle of Ominous, the Wicked Nemesis, the Grand Design, Clyde Braddock, and the Magic City Motormouth, Fast Eddie Layne, as we take you to the edge of uncensored. Yes, we go uncensored, so make sure you have your earmuffs. Ask your parents, for those of you that are a little young, maybe under 18, but make sure if you have any heart conditions or any mental defects, please listen, because they may take effect right here live every Wednesday night, 9 Central Standard Time. Beyond Ringside Radio Network, beyondringside.com.
This is Merciless Ray Mercer, Olympic gold medalist and board member of Find the Dream, and you're locked into Beyond Ringside.
This is Danny Cage from the world famous Monster Factory, and you're locked in to Beyond Ringside.
Sunday nights at 11 p.m. Eastern here on BeyondRingside.com. Join us for the Midnight Black Mass. Myself, the Reverend Dan Wilson, brings you the dark gospel of professional wrestling. Uncensored, unedited, uncut, and not for the faint of heart. You can find out more about us at youtube.com/pottyhumor or subscribe at Potty Humor on iTunes and Stitcher today.
And we're back.
Yes, we certainly are coming back in live. Sorry about that little thing we had to take care of off air.
Yeah, we want to make sure everything was, all the ducks were in the row and all that stuff. So.
Oh, yeah. But that second one really surprises me that much more that happened, though. But, yeah. To be able to also, and the person that I was trying to put the superlative in front of, longtime GCW mainstay, former heavyweight champion, tag team champion, Sergeant Greg Hammer. Great to run into him last night, dude. If you're listening, your presence at Global has been sorely missed, and it was great to see you there last night. It was hilarious.
I did not see him walking around, and I don't know why y'all keep calling him Greg. Call him by his real first name.
Sarge?
Armand. No, Armand.
Armand Hammer? Oh, nice. Haven't even thought of that one in forever and a day. But no, in all seriousness, when Wick and I were doing commentary on one of the matches, he came walking across and used a very descriptive wave.
Oh, he gave you half the peace sign.
No, he actually did the single finger salute. And
yeah, that's half the peace sign.
I know that. We'll
just go with it.
Oh, you go with mine for a change. I go with yours all the time.
Yeah, but I said mine first, and you tried to one-up me. Quit trying to one-up me.
I was doing a parallel, not a one-up.
Look, you know what? Tumsy and I found our son last night, and I
noticed that.
He's listening, and I don't need you embarrassing me in front of my son.
I don't try to embarrass you. I just shut up and get out of your way when you start.
My son, damn it.
I just shut up and get out of your way. Oh, kind of like when Wick and Tasha were talking about my alleged son or twin or whatever the hell up in Tennessee when they were picking on that poor kid. But
it could be your long-lost brother, knothead Donnie Lane.
There you go.
But anyway, there was a lot of people there at Pell City. It was actually a really good crowd. It was packed out.
It was. It really was. And that's the thing about it. I'm really appreciative for everybody who was able to make it there last night. And like I said, I said it on, I want to say it was social media, on Twitter, about the comment about being able to run into CMD, Sergeant Hammer, and of course having what I call hashtag the real DXL.
Yeah, not that clothing store that ripped us off.
That stole your damn name. There you go.
Yep.
That's just funny as hell that they did that too. But we're going to go and shift topics real quick as we're 14 after the hour on the live side. But from there, there is an 800-pound gorilla running around the internet that everybody's been speculating on. And
don't talk about Sergeant Hammer's wife like that.
Damn, you're going to get killed, and I'm just going to stay out of the way.
I'm not worried.
Remember, you only die thrice.
Yeah, but remember, he's Sergeant Hammer. He's not smart enough to figure out where I am.
He has excellent sights on his gun. He'll just open fire. And
but he also worked for the government, so we all know how that works.
And you have to come out of the ladies' bathroom at Wendy's eventually.
Hey, that's the only place I can eat my Baconator in peace.
Too many one-liners.
What I call the fat chick that works there.
There you go.
Boom.
There you go. But
anyway, as you were saying,
I'm sorry. This showed a very unique graphic up on the Coca-Cola 600 race from Fox right now, and it's like, when did we go into NASCAR? It's 115 out of 400. How the hell did it come into NASCAR overtime? Weird.
I didn't even know that was such a thing. But no, I think the large primate Eddie is referring to would be the newly announced, starting in July,
correct,
brand split. The brand split that Eddie has been wanting to happen for the better part of 5 years now.
Pretty much. I thought it was a bad idea to dissolve the roster split and the brand extensions.
I agree 100%.
And they would okay, now granted, with the number of injuries that they dealt with early in the year, I mean, that would have been pushed because you would have had a huge number of call-ups from NXT, bigger than we've already had. And over the last year, those call-ups have been steady. But from that vantage point, let me go ahead and do this one before we get too heavily into that, because this past Thursday on Shooter's Gallery, Stan had expressed a little bit of dismay at the title of this upcoming NXT takeover, The End, Well, basically, in this particular circumstance, I'm deriving the point that the name is going to be the end came into play because the fact of the match that's taking place in the main event, the cage match between Samoa Joe and I almost said Prince Devitt, Finn Balor for the NXT Championship inside of a steel cage, and yeah, a cage match inside of a steel cage, kind of like the World Tag Team Champions of the world.
Or if you are from Center Point, Birmingham, Alabama.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. When everybody knows that the Center Point is actually on the east side of town.
Center Point, Birmingham, Alabama?
There you go. Dude, I did that intentionally just to mess with people.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
However, I'm so glad that nothing gets by anybody and everybody always overshoots what the hell I do.
Anyway.
But coming back to it, yes, with WWE announcing the fact that SmackDown is going to be moving to Tuesday night starting in July with its own distinct roster, there's been a ton of speculation about which way certain things are going to go. And what I would put in play is something very simple. It's going to be a very unique circumstance due to the fact that you've had Seth Rollins come back, Sami Zayn came back, Randy Orton can't be that far away if he's coming back, John Cena slated to come back Monday night on Raw, which in my book, look, I agree with the preponderance of people out there who have the opinion that they should have just let Cena come back. They could have held off until Money in the Bank and let him come out and the Monday after that. Instead of building it up for week after week after week, John Cena's coming back. That just means people are going to save their voice and boo like hell tomorrow night during Raw. And the face that runs...
No, I don't think so, because they're probably going to be tired from booing Roman Reigns. It depends on if Reigns comes... It depends on whoever comes out first. I can tell you right now, those people who boo both of them are going to be so tired by the end of the night. Oh, my God, if they team them up, people are going to riot.
No, if Cena wins, we ride. If Roman Reigns wins, we just go home afterwards.
No, I tell you right now, you ready for ultimate scenario right here?
Or we go to Sonic and get some really bad food that you have to send back, and it's going to be irrelevant because you barf in their garbage can.
No, but...
Which that did happen.
Oh, did you throw up? I'm sorry.
Sonic, Bell City, I won't be back for a while.
Okay, but you ready for the ultimate just deafening boo?
Yes.
Reigns teams up with Cena. Okay? And they take on Anderson and Gallows, and they go over clean on Anderson and Gallows.
Oh, there's a riot waiting to happen.
Oh, that is going to be some... There will be fights. Small children wearing John Cena merchandise will get punched.
Probably.
But, I mean, well, here's the thing, though, is like, what's going to happen if Reigns and Cena are out at the same time? That's like saying, who are you going to boo? That's like, do you boo the Nazis or do you boo ISIS?
That's really an unfair question to begin with.
But you see where I'm going.
Because even I don't have that many bullets.
So that's going to be interesting. But I mean, I think that the reason why they made the specific date, one, because Marina's what's his name, Cena. He's very military friendly. Despite how you feel about him in the ring and everything, he does a lot for the military and stuff. And with it being Memorial Day, maybe they've got something planned. But also they had that target date for the Memorial Day ratings. I guess I don't know if that's
right.
a thing. So maybe that's why instead of just having him, come out unannounced, or if they, because sometimes WWE if they'll worry about the show that night. They'll be like, oh, like an hour or two before, they'll be like, oh, so-and-so's going to show up. And then, of course, boom, social media, boom, blows up.
Of course.
People have been told for almost a month, so, they're going for that big ratings return. That's probably why they, because you notice they haven't really announced anybody else's return.
Nope.
they're like, oh, Cena, don't forget Cena. What about Cena? Pass blue ribbon? Oh, they're going to sue us. We better pull that shirt.
Yeah, no kidding.
But I mean, here's the thing, to go back to the brand split, and everybody's like, oh, are they going to have 2 heavyweight champions? Well, if everybody remembers the original, the OG brand split, the heavyweight champion or world champion, whatever you want to call it, and the women's champion, and I want to say the tag champions worked both sets of tapings. I know it was the women's and the men's. I can't remember if they were still 2 separate tag belts.
No, it was the women's and the women's title, which was defended on both shows, and the tag team titles that were defended on both shows. And
no, the men's title was defended on both shows. I remember that.
Now you had the WWE champion on Raw and the World Heavyweight champion on SmackDown.
You sure? 'Cause I didn't think they had. I thought it was just one champion.
No, they were still split champions at that point. Remember Bragging Rights, the pay-per-view?
I thought Bragging Rights came way after.
No, not. It was during the brand split.
You sure? The very first brand split?
Yes.
See, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking. I thought, there was the only titles that were, brand specific were the IC and the US.
Correct, because the Intercontinental title started on Monday Night Raw, and the U.S. title went over to SmackDown.
And then somewhere about halfway through the brand split, they switched.
Yeah, that was during a draft.
Yeah. I missed the draft. I'm glad the draft is back. That's the only reason why I still play 2K16 in the universe mode, is I love the draft, because I don't like it. Okay, now here's my thing, though, with the draft. I don't like it when they split up tag teams. I think that's stupid because it never works. And then, 6 months to a year, they inevitably get back together. So I think tag teams should be counted as a one pick.
Yeah, because I can't see the Vaudevillains being split up, even though I can see Enzo and Cass being split up. Even though I think
not for a while, though. Not for a long.
No,
time.
Not for a long while, because I do believe that Enzo, I believe, is going to be making his return tomorrow night, Monday Night Raw as well. And I'll guarantee you, Enzo gets a bigger pop than John Cena.
Dude, Schnitsky could punt a baby doll and get a bigger pop than John Cena.
Probably.
Trust me. I mean, I think Cena will get a pop, and then people will realize, oh wait, it's John Cena. So by the time he gets to the ring, they'll be back to booing him.
Yeah, pretty much. And
it's just a nostalgia thing. It's not necessarily nostalgia, but it's more of a, hey, you haven't been around in a while. It's good to see you again, and we hate you.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, and that's something I've also got to put into play, because when Rollins made his return at Extreme Rules, just absolutely incredible reaction from the fans. And then he came out the next night on Monday Night Raw, huge pop. And then he took them down that rabbit hole and got them back to the point where they were, a lot of them back to the point where they were booing him. And if you'll notice, I mean, that was a beautiful 6 minutes. It genuinely was. He went from hero to heel in about 6 minutes. And I legitimately think that I don't know if that was his doing or if it was creative that gave it to him. Whoever it was should be commended and given a raise, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, you kind of do it, I think they're just not going to make it as black and white as, people are booing Reigns. Okay, we're going to have you come back as a face. They're going to make you want to have Rollins back, or make you want to have Rollins as a face. But I mean, he's such a good heel. Same thing with Orton. Orton is like such a good heel. There's some people who are just naturally good heels, and he continued that journey down the rabbit hole, as you say, on SmackDown. So I just think I think it's great though to see him back, because now you've got so many people that he can have great matches with, and vice versa. Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Cesaro. They can reignite the feud with Ambrose, AJ Styles. You know there are people that are salivating for an AJ Styles Seth Rollins match.
I know what people are already salivating for. If you caught NXT this past week, or 100,000 people who shared the video at the next NXT takeover.
Which, oh yeah, we need to get back to that because we're talking about the end.
It was made a match that will have people talking, because this could be a WWE Match of the Year candidate, or especially NXT Match of the Year. But I'm going to sit back and say at least a WWE Match of the Year candidate. As the greatest man that ever lived, Austin Aries, A-double, goes one-on-one with the King of Strong Style, Shinsuke Nakamura. I am looking forward to that match, because the thing about it is, and you and I have had this discussion before, when you allow good talent to have the time to do what they do best, the fans are the ultimate winners. And in this case, NXT TakeOver, I genuinely feel that the fans are going to get their money's worth and then some, even if they're only paying $9.99 for the damn network. I think the fans in attendance who are actually paying to be there are definitely going to get their money's worth, because that is a match I would kill to see live. And, I mean, that would be the only downside that I could see on this match, is if they don't have time to do what they do best. And lo and behold, things that end up getting rushed. And when it comes to Aries and Nakamura, you don't rush greatness, and you don't rush royalty. MaBo, your thoughts?
I can tell you right now, it doesn't matter if it's 6 minutes, 60 minutes, 60 seconds, or 3 hours. Austin Aries is going to give you your money's worth, plain and simple. And Shinsuke Nakamura, somebody posted the video, and I was like, that Shinsuke Nakamura is definitely something different. He is a breed unto himself, with his weird facial features that he pulls, the hand gestures, the fact. I think he said something. He was saying something to Austin Aries. And he looks at Aries and he goes, "Do you speak English?" And he goes, "No, me neither." I mean, I think Shinsuke Nakamura is NXT is already let's just say a great meal that is being prepared. Okay, it's already a great meal. And I hate that I'm going to miss it coming up in the next few weeks over in Atlanta. That's probably the closest they're ever going to get to Birmingham, and that's just driving me crazy that I cannot afford to go. Because I have championed NXT since pretty much day one. I mean, when they were FCW, I'm like, this was great. But Shinsuke Nakamura is... Now, you can make a great meal dozens of times, okay? And each time you make that great meal, it's people love it. It's delicious. People always want it more and more and more. Hey, can you make that for me again? Can you make that for me again? Make it again. But when you bring in that something different, that unknown ingredient, that, no pun intended, but that exotic spice, and you add it to this already great meal that has turned out time and time again, it's already there. It's going to take it to a whole nother level. And to me, that is what Shinsuke Nakamura is. He is going to take NXT to a whole nother level. He's already, if you ever heard the phrase, how do you improve upon greatness? Bringing in Shinsuke Nakamura is improving upon greatness. And I'm going to go ahead and say this, no offense to the been out way too long, I didn't even know he was still there, Hideo Itami, who's supposed to be coming back, soon. I just did air quotes. Brother, I'm going to say something, I think is, hot Japanese property, you've been replaced, buddy, because you might be amazing in the ring, and he is. Go back and watch his old tapes with Kenta. But Shinsuke Nakamura has charisma. He has that it factor that, to me, is going to kind of push Itami, on the back burner there. And I'm not saying for sure that he's going to get a future endeavor, but if he can't get his act together as far as getting back into ring shape and all this stuff, he might get Sin Cara and replaced, so to speak. So that's just me.
And keeping it on NXT for just a hot second, I've got to give a very special thank you to WWE.com, and this is on a personal note. They have, over in the NXT area, posted a story, an op-ed, I guess, on the road of Adam Pearce, multi-time National Wrestling Alliance World Heavyweight Champion, his road to the WWE. And I just wanted to sit back and say I thought that was a well-written piece. I thought it was a great interview with Pearce, someone who has been on this station, and I've had the privilege of having the conversations with on, I believe, 5 different occasions.
Did he put us over?
Of course not. And he does.
Adam Pearce, you're dead to us.
Not to us, maybe to you.
No, you're dead to Beyond Ringside live.
There you. Oh, you remembered. But from that vantage point, if you have not, the only thing, and this is just a little me thing, because you know how much I hate that damn word. Really? And the article is entitled Indie Star Adam Pearce's Unexpected Road to WWE. Okay. You can call him wrestling star. You can call him former world champion. I mean, look, and some people take this a lot less heavy than I do, or a lot lighter than I do. Look, don't get me I'm not going to get started on this, even though I really effing want to. You can call him a star all day long. You can call him in-ring talent. You can call him a performer, whatever. Or you could just simply sit back and say, NXT trainer Adam Pearce's unexpected road to WWE, or executive producer of the show, which he has experience doing also. When you start putting little things like that on the title, understandable clickbait, understandable, but by the same token, no matter who it is, you should always be about the build-up. And now, when you call somebody an indie darling or an internet darling, depending on who it is, sometimes it's justified. And I also give credit where credit is due. They actually make references to, utilize full references to Ring of Honor and the NWA during the Pierce piece, and including showing pictures of him with the NWA belt. But if you get a chance to, pop over to WWE.com, click on the NXT section, and go over and check that out. Also, I'm going to go ahead and stick with NXT for us. Matter of fact, hold on. Let's go ahead and take the bottom of the hour break real quick. Folks, we'll be back in just a minute. Hang tight. This is Beyond Ringside Live on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network and ProWrestlingRadio.net.
Ladies and gentlemen, wrestling fans from around the world, I'm Lightning Mike Quackenbush, the master of 1,000 holds, and you're locked in for Beyond Ringside.
The To Be Determined show live Wednesday nights, 9 Central Standard Time. Join myself, the Oracle of Ominous, the Wicked Nemesis, the Grand Design, Clyde Braddock, and the Magic City Monroe, Fast Eddie Layne, as we take you to the edge of uncensored. Yes, we go uncensored, so make sure you have your earmuffs. Ask your parents, for those of you that are a little young, maybe under 18, but make sure if you have any heart conditions or any mental defects, please listen, because they may take effect right here live every Wednesday night, 9 Central Standard Time. Beyond Ringside Radio Network, beyondringside.com.
This is Merciless Ray Mercer, Olympic gold medalist and board member of Find the Dream, and you're locked into Beyond Ringside.
This is Danny Cage from the world famous Monster Factory, and you're locked in to Beyond Ringside.
And welcome back into Beyond Ringside Live. Hour 1 of the books, hour 2 underway, technically speaking. Fast Eddie Layne, live from Studio 1. Welcoming back in the one and only Mark MaBo Bowman. What's up, bro?
Yeah.
You know, and with NXT TakeOver on the horizon, I really appreciated the match from this past week. Nia Jax defeating Carmella and Alexa Bliss. Okay, there's a reason for that. Take it over, dude.
No. I'm not sold on Nia Jax. They're going to, give her she's already, Bayley already beat her, okay? When Bayley had the title, and now we're going to watch Asuka kick her in the face repeatedly. God, please, yes. I'm not sold on Nia Jax. I think because of who her cousin is, I'm not saying she's getting preferential treatment, but I think they're fast-tracking her and not giving her time to develop.
Okay.
Carmella's going to have to find a new identity or move up to the main roster with Enzo and Big Cass. Don't get me wrong, I love Carmella. I love her in-ring work. I know they got another chick on there, Liv Moore.
Okay.
Or Liv Morgan. Who's supposed to be, who's like from Jersey or whatever. Maybe stick them two together, turn them heel. Don't know. But I think now that Alexa Bliss has broken away from Blake and Murphy, I don't know if that episode has aired yet. I think it has.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's fine, push her, but I'm not sold on Nia Jax as any kind of contender right now. I mean, unless they're going to sit there and have her between now and the TakeOver special just beat up Asuka to make her look unstoppable, and then Asuka just wins.
I believe they're going to come face-to-face next week.
But, well, more with Asuka and Nia Jax probably like face to boobs. But
and the downside of this is what?
Huh?
And the downside of that is what?
But I'm just not sold on Nia Jax as a contender. I mean, hell, you could have had her be a bodyguard for 6 months or whatever.
That would be too Tamina-ish.
But that's the thing is, to me, I just do not see her. I think she's just too. And she got fast-tracked, yo.
Let me ask you this. Slight subject change. I want your input on this. We all know one of the reasons why Velvet Sky has not been brought up to WWE at this point, because Bubba Ray's been lobbying for that. But of course, it's going to be a Bella thing, and anytime the Bellas are around, there's only room for 2 trampy, slutty whores. And yes, I said that. I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry. I'm just, if it offended you, get over it. It's not my fault. But lo and behold, there were reasons why Maria Kanellis was not brought in. And that was one of the hang-ups for Michael Bennett, because Michael Bennett said, well, if I'm going, she's going. We come as a package deal. And it was a case of, well, we want you, but not her. And everybody knew that it was going to cause friction with the Bellas. And lo and behold, I'm pretty sure you got the same darn situation. But now that the Bellas are pretty much out of the picture, thank God. I mean, okay, look, hold on. Let me clarify this. I don't know Stephanie and Brianna Garcia personally. So this is not a personal attack in any capacity whatsoever. But lo and behold, it's business. And I comment on what I know is the on-screen product and things that have been substantiated and verified behind the scenes. So I will leave that at that. Draw your own conclusion from there. Do you think that now that the path may be cleared for Velvet Sky to come into the WWE system?
I don't know. I don't know if she'll actually show up or not.
What's funny is the person that I would actually love to see show up in the NXT system, Taylor Wilde, if you remember that name.
I didn't think you liked Taylor Wilde, or was that me?
You didn't like Taylor. I like Taylor Wilde.
Oh, yeah, that's right, because I said she looked like a Skinamax softcore porn actress.
Okay. No, and because, see, that was one of my points of contention for the poor business practices of the TNA front office. When Taylor Wilde was being put over as the Knockouts champion, she wasn't even making enough money to where she could leave her job as a manager of a sunglass hut up in Canada.
Yeah, and that's what's sad, too.
Yeah. I mean, and it hasn't gotten much better, checks bouncing, and talent not being paid. I don't know
allegedly.
I think checks bouncing had been substantiated. Thank you, MVP.
Allegedly.
Okay. We'll put that word in there. It's one of our favorite words in the English vernacular.
It saves us from getting in trouble.
Op-ed. That's all I'm going to say. No, but in my humble opinion, I would love to see Taylor Wilde try to make a comeback into the system and move down to NXT. We follow each other over on Instagram, and I'm going to extend an invitation for her to pop in sometime soon. But you know that she's probably done so many damn radio shows, it's not even funny. But from that vantage
Taylor Wilde, I thought she retired.
She did. But a lot of people still know who she is very clearly. She also was the person who came out with one of my favorite lines of all time when I think when Lacey Von Erich was brought into the TNA fold. Oh, great. Just what we know. Just what we need. Another bleach blonde with fake boobs. Yes.
Her being bleach blonde with fake boobs.
Of course. Well, we don't know if they're fake or not. I haven't played with them.
I will definitely step up and test them out.
Okay. You can do that.
We'll do that.
Okie doke.
Ooh. A&W cream soda and chicken nuggets. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay. You just gave me bad memories of Sonic last night. How hard?
Oh, I'm sorry, bro.
Dude, I've got to ask the question. Yes, I'm going rant for a second. How hard is it to screw up a lemon berry slush?
Were they out of lemon?
The first one didn't have lemons in it, and it barely had any strawberry.
Well, maybe they were out of lemons, maybe they were out of berries, so they went with, I don't know, like a lime watermelon?
Yeah, no. Tasted more like battery acid. I took one sip, spit it out, and said, I knocked on the door. And I said, can somebody please remake this? This is undrinkable. So about 5 minutes later,
After they all spit in it?
Probably. And then I got even because I threw up on their patio and in the garbage can at Sonic. I'm sorry, folks. I had to say that. So Sonic Pell City, y'all got some hard lessons to learn real quick, and I will not be back anytime soon.
Was it like the food, or do you think it was something in the drink that made you puke? Or?
I don't know what it is. I got the buffalo flavored boneless chicken wings, and they just did not taste right. Yeah, and I'd been drinking water before that, and I was completely stone cold sober when I walked in and not had a drink in 36 hours. But, yeah.
I'm sorry, dude.
Well, I mean, it's not your fault, but I appreciate the sentiment. So, like I said, for lo and behold, I will sit back and say, yeah, I should have either went to Waffle House or just went to Killing Time and drank. But that's just me. See, I'm almost in accord with what you're saying because Nia Jax has been kind of fast-tracked to a great degree, but she does have that Kong flair to her.
Whoa.
Yes, I just put the words Kong and flair in the same sentence. Kong-esque flair.
And by the way, I just saw a picture of Finn Balor and Shinsuke Nakamura, and now they're calling them Team Finsuke. But I'm serious. Jesus. They're called Team Finsuke.
Oh, shoot.
Or for you white people who don't know how to pronounce Finsuke. Crackers.
And that's coming from one of the whitest white boys I know.
I'm not white, Sunshine. I'm going to tell you right now.
Sure.
I've got a hood pass, first of all. Boom. Suck it. Anyway.
I grew up in the hood.
She does not have a Kong flair about her.
Kong-esque.
She has a Lady Di Papa flair to her.
Now, I'm going to throw this one at you because I want to go ahead and bring this one out because longtime colleague, coworker, we worked together on a number of different shows around the Southeast, and I'm actually going to go ahead and bring this name out of the cobwebs. Aloysia, who a lot of people knew as Isis the Amazon.
Oh, yeah.
Now,
was supposed to be on like the third season of NXT.
But because the factor of some things that happened behind the scenes, which allegedly that I'm not going to go into detail on. If y'all don't know, look it up. I really have to ask myself, if situations had worked out differently, how far would she have progressed in the WWE? Would she have had a limited run? Do you think that she would have had a long-term run?
I think she would have had and this is no offense against her at all. I think she would have had a limited run. Because they were definitely they were deeply ensconced in the quote-unquote diva where there weren't any real women's wrestlers. They were, mostly supermodels and all that stuff. And I don't think, with her actually knowing how to work, I don't think she would have had, she would have been a short-termer. So much so that, once NXT was over with, she would have probably floundered around in FCW. Maybe got brought up. Because I think she was supposed to be with Vicky.
Right.
During that. Yeah,
yes.
Because Caitlin's the one that took her spot. And, no, not Caitlin. Was it Jamie? No, it was Caitlin. Anyway, she would have been like Vicky's bodyguard for a short time on TV. Then she would have got sent, they wouldn't have figured out what to do with her. They would have sent her down to FCW because, keep in mind, this is when it was FCW. This was where they were still at least a good 2 to 3 years, if not more, away from NXT. The NXT that we know today that's at the Performance Center. This was when they were still running down at the FCW arena. She would have, floundered there, and I think she would have eventually gotten released. So, and like I said, that is no slight against her. That is just what the culture was on the main roster at the time.
Right.
And how, I'm not going to say the lack of attention. I'm not going to say there was a lack of attention needed down in their developmental league, but there definitely was not the attention that is given to it now.
Right.
So I don't think she would have. So. But to me, Nia Jax, she does not have that Kong, because Kong was seasoned and tempered.
Yeah, true.
In Japan, so you knew when she walked in, she was a legitimate badass.
Right.
And this is no dig on any of these other ladies, but you've got. When you've got someone like Tamina or Lady Tapa or Nia Jax or I can't think of anybody else right now off the top of my head. What was her name? She was briefly in TNA. She came from, I think it was Women of Wrestling or something. It was one of those, but her name, they called her Sir Relda.
I don't remember that.
Very, very few people do.
Yeah, there may be a reason.
She was Klondike in one of those defunct women's companies.
Okay.
Yeah, but she came in. They called her Sir Elda, and she couldn't figure out why that was her name. Because you look like a dude. When you got women like those who come in, yeah, they look menacing. They look like they're going to destroy your cute babyface champion. But when it comes time, you could tell that they are way under-seasoned. But when you've got people like a Kong or alpha female, mainly, that I've seen them do her a lot of work over in Europe. Those are the ones who, because it's even about how they carry themselves. You can tell not to make this sound like, not to put them down when I use this word, but when you have a female beast walk in, you could tell the female beast that had been tempered on the independents or tempered in Japan or Europe, as opposed to a female, quote unquote, female beast, a female monster who, may have had a year or two training and then sent straight to developmental. Just look how they carry themselves. And believe it or not, when it comes to that, and if you guys don't believe me, go pull up videotapes or I guess the YouTubes or whatever. Look at Tamina, look at Nia Jax, look at who else did I say? Lady Tapa.
Right.
Look at their shoulders when they come to the ring. Now, just look at that. Now, when you see somebody like Alpha Female or an Awesome Kong, Aja Kong, Bull Nakano, look at their shoulders. And I guarantee you will see, on one side you will see a beast, and you will see a wanna beast. Trust me.
I'm going to shift it real quick. What can, based on the time that we have before the match actually takes place, which isn't really that far away. I think we're about a week and a half. Yeah, lo and behold, I'll bring this one into play. Steel cage, Joe, Balor. Your thoughts on that one?
Oh, it's going to be brutality at its most brutal. It's going to be violence for the sake of violence. I think it's going to be... You're going to see two guys take it to the limit one more time. But it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard hitting. I can tell you right now. Go ahead and get the butter, cheese, salt, and pepper ready because there's going to be some taters served up.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah, there's and then of course if there's taters served up, you always got to make sure you're ready to get your receipt. But yeah, I think it's going to be insane. I think is this the first cage match?
They're saying this is the first ever cage match on NXT.
Oh, that's what I'm trying to say. I mean, yeah, because I didn't see anything because I got the Best of NXT Volume 1 Blu-ray, and there's no mention of cage matches.
Okay.
Yeah, I think through the entire history of NXT, I don't think this might be their first cage match. Period. So you know that when you've already got guys like Joe and Balor who have been, across the world, they've set so many standards in so many countries so many times. But now this is their first time to set a standard on a WWE product in the first ever steel cage match on NXT. So you just like Kevin Owens and Balor, they had that, they had that standard that they set on Beast in the East. Joe and Balor are now going to have the opportunity to set a uber standard with this steel cage match on NXT, and I think it's going to be, once again, we've thrown this phrase around a lot, but when it comes to, especially when it comes to NXT, these words are justified, and that is match of the year candidate. Because, it's always very rare that you would see more than a handful of match of the year candidates in the WWE or from a WWE product. It's always like, Ring of Honor or over in Japan or whatever. That usually turn out the, top match of the year candidates and match of the year winners. But I think, there's going to be several, dogs in that race, and I think Joe Ballard in a cage it's definitely going to be something that's going to be, you have to contend with, and it's going to be awesome.
See, I've also got to go ahead and come back and say, for anybody that might have actually forgotten it, shame on you. I'm actually going to throw the Zayn Nakamura match into the mix for Match of the Year candidate still to this point. MaBo?
What? You said you were throwing it in there. I didn't want to. Fine, I'm going to throw it back out. How's that? Is that what you want?
You can either agree or you can agree.
I'm taking it back out, Eddie.
You can agree or disagree.
Or we can agree to disagree to agree.
You would not put that as a candidate for Match of the Year.
I would not put that as a manager candidate of the year.
But would you not put it in there?
I would not put that in there as a manager candidate of the millennium.
But would you put it in there?
Only if she's legal.
There you go. And on that note, we'll be back. Beyond Ringside Live continues right after this on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network and ProWrestlingRadio.net. Mr. Bowman, my name is John Walsh, and I'm with America's Most Wanted.
What's up, everybody? It's Stan Grubb for Corner to Corner Wrestling Radio and the Beyond Ringside Radio Network. Hey, join us every Sunday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as the triple threat of wrestling radio goes live every week, giving you their thoughts and opinions on the world of professional wrestling. Myself, Brian, and Rob, all live, all here for you. And as my good friend Rob would say, from corner to corner and pillar to post, we bring it to you every week at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. BeyondRingside.com and ProWrestlingRadio.net.
This is Angel Orsini.
This is the Human Hand Grenade, Danny Only.
This is Dirty Dutch Mantel.
This is Liz Savage.
This is Vinny O'Brien, 2010 Golden Glove champion. This is Gabe Sapolsky from Dragon Gate USA and Evolve Pro Wrestling, and you're locked into Beyond Ringside.
It's me. It's that D to the O to the double G. Always see next year, near doggy style, the road dog Jesse James, and you're locked in to Beyond Ringside. Get it? Got it? Good.
Howdy, friends. This is the Magic City Motor Mouth, Fast Eddie Layne, with your invitation to join yours truly, along with Mark MaBo Bowman and the Oracle of Ominous, the Wicked Nemesis, every Sunday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 3:30 p.m. Pacific, for Beyond Ringside Live. Wrestling, mixed martial arts, sports talk, and a whole lot more. Keep your eyes open on BeyondRingside.com for all of upcoming show information, and of course, catch us on social media as well. Until then, we'll see you this Sunday, 6:30 Eastern, for Beyond Ringside Live on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network.
Oh, yes, this is Paul Bearer, and some people call me Percy Pringle III. You're locked in to Beyond Ringside, my favorite radio station.
Welcome back into Beyond Ringside Live on this Sunday night edition. The home run round underway. Managed to get a lot of... Yes? Stop it. Just stop it. Stop it now.
I had my own version of Sonic about 45 minutes before the show started.
Okay.
Oh, I think I would rather have a stormy day than a sunny day.
Well, I tell you what. I have the perfect cure for what ails you.
Oh, did you find out she was legal?
Better than that.
Okay.
How about a one-on-one matchup in ring, Martin Stone versus Tommaso Ciampa? MaBo?
Eddie, that has nothing to do with what I'm trying to get at.
And it has everything to do with what I'm trying to get away from.
So, did you unplug it from the wall and hop on your Segway?
No. Now, in all seriousness, you got some great action on the way to you all the way across the country coming up all the way through the week into next weekend. And I make the reference to next Sunday, June 5th. In Atlanta, Georgia. Our good friends at Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment will be back in action Sunday, June 5 at the famous there's no T on the end of famous, you moron. Can we go out and come back in and try this segment all over again without you screwing
Hey,
me?
I don't know. Look, when I signed up for my utilities, for some reason, they decided to put a T on the end of my last name.
There you go.
But, no, go ahead. I know what you're going with this.
There you go. This coming Sunday, I'll take it from the top and we'll try it all over again. One of these days, I'm going to script this out.
Hold on. Ready? Take two. And cue sound. Cue lights. We're rolling. All right, everybody. The first take was good, but this is the go-home one. And cue Eddie. Action.
Sunday, June 5th in Atlanta, Georgia at the famous pub. North Druid Hills Road. Love the venue. Absolutely great place. You will have an opportunity to see in person the match that I was making a reference to. Martin Stone taking on Tommaso Ciampa under the banner of Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment. I believe bell time is going to be 4 p.m. Eastern time, 3 Central. So for our friends who are going to be leaving Alabama to go to Georgia for this show, definitely leave a little early. Trust me on this one.
Plan an hour ahead, kids.
No, actually make it an hour and a half.
Actually, how about this, kids? What you do, if you go to church, when you get out of church, go home, get out your good clothes, hop in the car, leave even earlier than that, because they're already an hour ahead of us. Stop by, Eddie, what's that burger place?
The Varsity.
Stop by the Varsity. Get you a burger. Enjoy it. Savor it. Because you're going to be starving by the time you get to the counter anyway, because you're going to have to wait 45 minutes.
Yep.
So get your burger. I personally would get like a double or a triple. Throw some bacon on there. Enjoy yourself. Take in the day, Then, once you let your food settle, by that time, I would say should be about 3 o'clock. Atlanta time. Go ahead, hop in the car, make your way to the venue. Always get there early. Never hurts to get there early, especially when it's a stacked card like this. Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment puts on, great shows. They bring in a lot of outside talent I enjoy. And, head over there, get you a good parking space, get to the doors so that way, you can get you a good seat in the venue. Not saying that there's any bad seats, although I don't know. I've never been there. Eddie would tell you, though, if there's, good or bad seats, and I would think Eddie would say that there's not a bad seat in the house. And then, sit down. Are they serving beverages?
Oh, yes.
I mean, I don't know what what beverages they have, but I would say if you could, I'm not a drinker, but I would get a blowjob. It's Kahlua, Bailey's, and whipped cream.
Oh, yeah.
Sounds delicious. Maybe get you one of those, toss it back, get you some water. Don't get too inebriated. Don't be that guy. Or girl. Don't be that guy or girl. Drink responsibly, handle your high, and then sit down, maybe have some sodas after that, some water, and enjoy the show.
And there's more to it than that.
Oh, do tell, Edwin.
David Starr, who I had a great opportunity, the product David Starr.
With 2 R's.
Yes. Former
Formerly
guest.
of the Juicy product up in CZW.
Formerly of. Those two had the huge blow up a while back.
Mm-hmm.
He'll be taking on Adrian Armour. Aaron Epic returns to take on Owen Knight. The being of unspeakable horror. The Nope.
My mom?
Son of a bitch.
Not my mom. My mom was not booked.
Not your mom.
For some reason, AWE could not meet her price.
The contractual commitments.
Yes.
I'm referring to the No Pain Train, Iceberg, but taking on Trip Cassidy.
Ooh, that ought to be nasty.
Now, here's one that I'm going to lay out there, and this is one that is going to, look, so far, 4 out of 4 matches are going to be worth the price of admission. But I'm going to sit back and say I have a vested interest in this match in particular.
Uh-huh.
And matter of fact, for those who missed it, our guest from last week will be making a return to Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment in upcoming days. I do believe June 16th was the date that Gary J made a reference to.
Yes. Actually, he spoke of his match. Remember last week he talked about he would be taking on Martin Stone as well.
Yeah.
That match happened, I believe Friday or Saturday, and I heard it was brutal.
But from there, the match that I actually have a very high vested interest in, because 3 out of 4 I cannot. Okay, the fourth one I've met, we've conversed, we've not broken bread, but I can sit back and say 3 out of 4 people in this match, good friends of the family, good friends of the show, and good personal friends. And I'm not name dropping or anything like that. I just, like I said, this match is going to be fun to watch for that particular reason, because I know all 4, but it's the Kraken. Your grandmother's favorite wrestler, the urban legend Murder One, along with AWE's real top prospect, Do or Die Chip Day, taking on the experienced John Schuyler and country jacked Corey Hollis.
Oh, that's going to be... And if I'm not mistaken, this should be the experience. This is their first... is this their first foray into the AWE?
Yes, it is.
Oh, you guys are in for a treat.
Yeah. I've had a conversation with Josh Wheeler. He said there are some huge surprises on the way for Sunday, June 5th at the famous pub, 4 p.m. start time with Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment.
Now, Eddie, you know,
yes.
the experience, Corey Hollis and John Schuyler, they are very similar. I don't know if you've seen this team. So far, they've only showed up once. But they remind me... this new team reminds me a lot of Schuyler and Hollis, the experience. They just had their first big break on Raw 2 weeks ago. It'll be 2 weeks Monday. Brian Kennedy and Scott Jackson.
I'm trying to remember them. Who did they take on?
The guys that they ran vignettes for a month, and then didn't even bother bringing them back for any of the other shows. Primo and Epico.
Yeah, I know. It was the Shining Stars.
We got a month of vignettes for them. Were they even on the following SmackDown? I know they weren't on the following Raw. And were they even on the subsequent SmackDown?
I have not watched all of SmackDown in the last 2 weeks. I do not know. But yes, and that was the funny part about it, because when you're going to change somebody's name, make sure that their gear doesn't have their real name on it.
I know, right?
I know. I went there too.
But I'm telling you, those that Kennedy and Jackson guy, they remind me a lot of Holly Jolly Hollis and John Schuyler there.
But I will sit back and say this one. Like I said, every match that we have made a reference to, Iceberg Trip Cassidy is going to be a fun match to watch. Aaron Epic and Owen Knight, do not blink during that match. David Starr, Adrian Armour. This one will have you talking for quite a while. Martin Stone versus Tommaso Ciampa. Top tier stars.
You want to talk about some chops getting laid in there, son?
Oh, dude.
With Stone and Ciampa. Ooh, buddy. Oh, snap, crackle, and piss off. It's going to be loud and painful.
Yes, it will be. And then you just, like I said, you go ahead and add Murder One and Chip Day versus Hollis and Schuyler. I mean, like I said, that's just absolutely going to be tremendous, that whole card so far. And there's a lot more at Follow the White Rabbit 3. It's also called What is Real. And I'll tell you something, the action in ring this coming Sunday, June 5, in Atlanta with Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment, that action is going to be real as real can be.
Well, let me ask you this already. So, that's AWE home of the Kraken there with Chip Day and Murder One.
Part of the hierarchy, yes.
And isn't Berg in the Kraken with him?
Berg is in the... Okay, now, the Kraken is part of the hierarchy.
Wait, so that's the name of the tag team?
Yeah, Kraken's part of the hierarchy. The hierarchy is the faction that includes Iceberg and Jimmy Rave.
Okay, Iceberg, Jimmy Rave, and then you got Day and Murder One.
Affirmative.
All right. Then you got Hollis and Skyler, and don't they usually have backup in the form of...
Yes, they do sometimes.
And Gunner and Cage, I'm gonna say?
In the form of Bob Seeger, turn the page, and of course, you can be your front or your tail Gunner. Yes.
Oh, that was terrible. By the way, congratulations to Gunner on he and his
new
good
bride
lady wife, their expected kid, but he got married over the weekend. So
yes, he did.
Good. Congratulations, Gunner.
Yes, he did.
Maybe down the road, I'm not saying, Josh Wheeler, if you're listening, maybe the War Games, the hierarchy versus the experience, book it. Just saying, I'd show up for that. Just saying.
You never know. Now, remember, it is kind of difficult to put everything in play because, remember, Adam Page signed a long-form deal and is being also featured as a viable part of Ring of Honor programming. So,
and he's also, along with Adam Cole, baby, and Chase Owens, and all over there doing the Super Junior stuff in Japan right now. With the rest of the Biz Cliz.
Mm-hmm.
Which, speaking of...
Yes.
I am not going to take take an issue up with Amber O'Neil Gallows.
Before you do that, folks, check it out. Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment on Facebook, ATL Wrestling ENT on Twitter, and the website is AtlantaWrestlingEntertainment.com. Mark your calendar, make your plans for Sunday, June 5th. Go ahead.
June 5th, and then what was it? And then if you can't make it out June 5th?
June 19th will be the return date, and that is when, if things are in play, I will be joining the AWE broadcast team.
So they're not going to be there June 12th?
No.
Okay. Well, I didn't know if they ran every week or every other week.
No, they're actually June 5, June 19, and I've got my next date for July over on my phone, which I don't have in front of me.
Oh. Well, anyway. I'm just saying, and I was told, it's because, New Japan owns the rights to Bullet Club or whatever, as far as movies and stuff. But I'm just saying, she could have somehow found me a copy of the Biz Cliz from highspots.com. I would have bought it. Biz Cliz Party. Just saying. So I take umbrage with that.
What?
All she had was shirts last night, and I was kind of hoping she would have had the Biz Cliz DVD, but from what Schmidtke told me was that they can sell the shirts. Like, they could sell the shirts and keep the money off the shirts, Bullet Club shirts.
But
but they didn't have the one that I want, the one with the pumpkin, the jack-o'-lantern, that's orange and black, or black with orange. And they could keep the money on that, but as far as if it's a DVD or anything...
Right.
The money has to go to New Japan because they own the rights for that.
Correct.
And I was like, well, that's bull crap, because it didn't say Bullet Club, it said Biz Cliz. And High Spots shot it.
Yeah, but by the same token, you also have to remember to keep in perspective that the agreement between... Okay, here's the thing that you have to keep in play. Entities can work together and in correlation and in agreement with each other, but there's always one... Huh?
I don't care.
Okay.
I want that DVD, and I don't want to have to pay too much for it. That's what it boils down to.
I know, of course, you don't care about a freebie, you want a discount.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not asking for it for free. I'm just saying I don't want to have to pay shipping. And, if I can get it for maybe $10 or $15, because I think it's like $20 on highspots.com. I'm just saying, I would pay $15 for it because it looks funny. I'm just saying. I would have also liked to have gotten a Gallows himself. I'm sorry, Gallows doesn't have the shirt. He just has the Bullet Club shirt. Sex Ferguson,
right,
had sent along some Good Brothers shirts, and I would have liked to have gotten a Good Brothers shirt, but $25 was a little out of my price range. So,
yeah,
but if you want to go ahead and jump on the bandwagon, not to sound like a hipster, but, some of us were already, pulling for the Bullet Club long before. But if you little, hillbillies, rednecks, hayseeds want to, pretend like you have an in the next time, Amber Gallows or Chase Owens, or if you're at a Ring of Honor show, next time they come through town, go ahead and grab you a Bullet Club shirt and be like, hey, look at me, T-Sweet me, T-Sweet me. No, you don't get to do that. You little hanger-oners.
Yes, I'm still working on trying to find a way to get a BC T-shirt for the BR Studios.
No, you need to get a good, see if you can get a good brother shirt. I'm telling you, Sex Ferguson is where it's at. The WWE is missing out on not signing Sex Ferguson. That man is he's a grizzled young vet. He's a grizzled young vet. I'm telling you right now.
Okay, tell you what, we're 21 after the hour on the live edition of Beyond Ringside Live. Fast Eddie Layne Mark, MaBo, Bowman. Back to, getting the calendar all screwed up because it's not back to basics. It's Corner to Corner that comes up a little bit later this evening. I'm going to go ahead and shift it over, and before we head for last call, I want to go ahead and make the reference live on pay-per-view, and they're back on a Friday. Friday, June 24th, 2016, live on pay-per-view, Ring of Honor Wrestling presents Best in the World 16. Friday, June 24th, from the Cabarrus Arena in Concord, North Carolina. Doors open at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Pre-show at 8:30, 9 p.m. live on pay-per-view. Matches already signed include, but are not limited to, in the main event, the rematch 1 year in the making for the Ring of Honor World Championship. Jay Lethal defends against Jay Briscoe. Maybe your thoughts from this point? Really?
Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of over it. Kind of over it. I mean, here's my thing. Jay Lethal's had it long enough, time to put it on somebody else, just not Jay Briscoe. I would like to see, and I know they've been taking trips over there back and forth. And I know they've probably got a good deal with Ring of Honor and Sinclair Broadcasting. But I would like to see the Briscoes go over to Japan and stay there for about a year. I mean, I'm not trying to, no offense to them, but they're kind of like, at this point to me, they seem kind of like that one guy that graduated, about 2 or 3 years ago, but he still is coming back to the high school and he's hanging out. He shows up at the football games and he's hitting on the cheerleaders.
Right.
Yeah, it's just like, maybe you need to go away for just a little bit. Just a little bit.
In your case, you want it to be a year.
Yeah.
Funny.
I'm just saying, no offense to him whatsoever. I'm just saying, I'm tired of seeing them, tired of hearing the words Briscoes in Ring of Honor.
For the ROH World Television Championship, Bobby Fish defends against Dalton Castle.
When did Bobby Fish win the title? Over in Japan?
Been a while.
It hasn't been that long.
It's been a little while.
It has not. It's maybe been like 2 months at most.
That's a little while in my book.
Actually, no, because the Japanese dude beat Roderick Strong about 2 months ago. There's no way Bobby Fish beat him. What? It's like the last pay-per-view?
It hasn't been
Look
that
it
long.
up.
It's been a couple of weeks.
Now it's a couple weeks, kid. Now it's going to be last night. But I think, I know this is, a good chance for Bobby Fish to show what he can do as a singles competitor, but I really want Dalton Castle to win the television title. Love Dalton Castle. Dalton Castle, Ashley Remington, whatever you want to call him. The guy is tremendous. So I would really like to see Dalton Castle walk away with the title. It's not going to happen, but, a girl can dream.
Let me see something real quick. Also signed to appear already, ROH World Tag Team Champions, The Addiction, Daniels and Kazarian. War Machine will be there. The Young Bucks will be there. Kyle O'Reilly, Mark Briscoe, the Motor City Machine Guns, ACH, Roderick Strong, Donovan Dijak, and more. Live on pay-per-view, Friday, June 24th, Best in the World 2016, from Ring of Honor Wrestling.
Why has the WWE not snatched up Dijak yet? Why do you think that is?
I have no earthly idea at this point. I mean, it just depends on whether or not he's got a long-term agreement or a short-term agreement with ROH. That would, but by the same token, you know, when it comes to the Fed, people have been known to break agreements both to get in and to get out.
Well, I mean, you know, to me, I think if WWE wants somebody, and you know, everybody knows they're working very closely Evolved, especially with the World Cruiserweight or the Cruiserweight World Champion, whatever the Cruiserweight thing is that they're gearing up for and going to be filming here soon. You know, they've worked very closely with Evolve, and I'm sure though that if they wanted Dijak, they could put down some money. But I'm just wondering why they, you know, what has stopped them other than contractual. What do you think has stopped them, if there is even a contract, from snatching up Dijak? I mean, you think they're trying to maybe start to shy away from the big guys?
I don't think so. I think Big Cass is perfect evidence of that. I think Baron Corbin's perfect evidence of that. But by the same token, they're also, considering who's running NXT, I genuinely feel that they see the diversity as an absolutely necessary thing, and bringing in 6'5" to 6'10" to 7 foot monsters is not diversity. When people like Austin Aries is getting some of the biggest pops, when Sami Zayn continues to get huge pops, when Kevin Steen gets huge pops, I mean, and they are not Land of the Giants. And they are consistently turning the crowd on its ear in a positive way. This is something that I've been saying for a number of years, and this has been the big fallacy for Vince. It's like he wants the jacked up gym rats that are skyscrapers, and dude, they have a limited ability to genuinely carry a crowd. By the way, I have a response for you. I sent a message to the good Reverend. They have just recorded a new episode of Get Ya Pulls that will be coming out this week, and it covers a lot of the DC rebirth and some of the new Marvel material.
Okay, cool. So that is in his on his menu to look at. Good. Be interested to see what he thinks.
Definitely.
Don't know if I'll listen to it because the sound of his voice makes my sphincter tighten and I lose all blood to my brain because it scares the living poop out of me and I pass out. So,
dude, that's horrible.
Hey, you know he's got gives me nightmares.
Okay, the concept of going to wait. The concept of going to a strip joint at night gives you nightmares.
No, that kicks in the fear of vampires.
Mark,
not so much a fear of vampires, but being trapped in a building with vampire strippers.
Okay, and trust me, there's enough of you to go around because they don't really drink that much. Now, alcohol they'll drink the hell out of, but blood they won't.
Vampire strippers, that's not true. They will feast upon me. The vampire strippers will take one look at me, and they'll just be like, well, I'm sure he, I can tell you right now, I guarantee you I'm very flavorful.
Okay. On that note, MaBo, last call.
Well, I was going to say, one, if your kids ever need a bedtime story read to them, do not call the Reverend Dan Wilson.
Oh, God.
But no real last call. I think we've covered everything. Have you had a chance to watch this week's Ring of Honor or New Japan shows?
Oh, believe me, ACH with Leo Rush, dude, that was a hellacious match. I loved every minute of it.
I haven't watched them, so I'm just saying.
I just said it was a hellacious match.
Oh, no, I agree.
If you ask me if I've seen it, then I've seen it.
No, it's just a yes or no question.
Yes, I've seen it. And I'm sorry, I have to sit back and say this. Yes, I've also watched this week's episode of New Japan, and it will probably be one of the last ones that I watch for a while, and I'm probably going to piss off a lot of people when I say this, but the sound of Jim Ross's voice just completely grates my nerves, and I'm listening to Josh Barnett change up everything. Is just, I'm sorry. Barnett's great at MMA, and he's sometimes is a really good color analyst, but when they just continue to run all over stuff, I even though these are matches from last year, and I respect the New Japan product. I genuinely do, but I just cannot. And I really appreciate the action in and of itself. But you need an announcer on that show that can call it and keep up with it. Plain and simple.
Gee, somebody's grown tired of Jim Ross. Yet another thing that people are now jumping on the bandwagon.
Now, you haven't been able to stand Jim Ross for a long time. But it's just Jim Ross. Okay, look, Jim Ross does not do the New Japan product justice.
By God, I can't pronounce his name. What's his name? What's his name? Nintendo Suzuki? That dang foreigner, I ain't going to deal with him no more. That's a barbecue hat.
Yeah, and lo and behold, he actually said on air, I don't know what his real name is, but everybody just calls him Red Shoes.
Well, no, that's the thing, though. That is actually the joke.
I know.
Is that the referee's name is Red Shoes?
I know. But still, no, for him to actually say, I don't know his real name, but it's like, dude, just you could have played that so differently. And like I said,
well, it's probably funny though because he probably calls Jim Ross.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
He probably calls him Stoneface.
Okay. On that note,
barbecue hat.
There you go. Folks, I will go ahead and lay this one out there real quick. I would like to say a very special thank you to everybody who made it out to Pell City last night for Global Warfare 6. Also, on the horizon, in addition to Sunday, June 5, June 18th is quickly approaching the anniversary show for Peach State Wrestling Alliance. June 18th in Carrollton, Georgia, back at Central Elementary School, is going to be an absolute blast. I'm looking for. We're going to have this coming Thursday on the Shooters Gallery. Shane Knowles and I, along with Stan Grubb, we're going to have a lot of information and insight about the upcoming anniversary show for Peach State Wrestling Alliance. But coming back over to last night, real quick, I want to say once again, Mark, I've already told you behind the cameras and on, so to speak, and of course on air. It was great to have the original DXL, you and Adam Coffey, 2 Tons of Agony, Tunzi, Sir Tunzi, all of the above. Great to see both of y'all there last night. To Cabana Man Dan, dude, it rocked. The selfie's a little out of focus, but you know something, I tried, and iPhones don't get it right every time. Sergeant Hammer, wish I'd have had a chance to get the picture made with you, brother, but it was great to see you for the first time in forever last night. Great to see you back at a GCW live event. Saw a lot of old friends last night, saw a lot of new acquaintances, and to everybody who made it, me personally, but I feel like I can speak for the entire roster. Thank you to everybody who made it out. Now, Aftermath is going to be on June 25th, and Global Championship Wrestling's GCW Radio will be returning. I do believe the date is going to be Tuesday, the 14th of June at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. We do always bump for GCW Radio on Back to Basics. So we'll work those situations out as they get closer. And of course, mark your calendars, make your plans. Sunday, June 5, the famous pub, North Druid Hills Road, 4 p.m. start time, Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment. Follow the White Rabbit 3. Get ready for it, Atlanta. It's going to be a hell of a day and a hell of a night. Corner to Corner kicks off in about 26 minutes from right now. The Midnight Black Mass is on a little hiatus. They are going to have a new episode in the can ready to roll out next Sunday. From there, Back to Basics, Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern, to be determined, Wednesday, 10 p.m. Eastern, Shooters Gallery, Thursday at 11 p.m. Eastern. There's an ascending and descending timetable schedule there. We're working on that concept. At Beyond Ringside on Twitter, Facebook.com/Beyond Ringside Live. BeyondRingside.com is home. And for me personally, Fast Eddie.
Hey, whoa.
What?
You didn't ask me if I wanted to do any cheap plugs.
I was going to throw it right back to you.
Well, you were doing yours first. That's not how it goes. But fine, go ahead. No, you don't hurt my feelings now. Go ahead. For you personally, Facebook, Eddie.
No. I'm just FastEddieLayne.com.
Yeah, on Twitter. At Fast
I don't care about all the other crap. FastEddieLayne.com is home.
Yeah, on Twitter. Fast Eddie Layne.
I wasn't even going to mention all that this week.
No, go ahead. You don't know.
I wasn't going to mention all that this week.
No.
I do my social media by way of my website now. With the exception of Snapchat, that you can't really transfer stuff over onto your website. Because it's gone in 24 hours.
I don't know. Hey, Eddie.
Hey, Woody.
Hey, if the former head of Slytherin House was on social media, would it be called Snape Chat?
Ouch. That was just bad.
On Twitter, at Fast Eddie Layne, run it all together. L-A-Y-N-E.
I don't, like I said, I was doing the website. That was it. And I was getting ready to say, hey, Mark MaBo Bowman, shameless plugs?
Well, I don't have any shameless plugs. But I would like to, one, congratulate Absolute Intense Wrestling on a very successful JT Lightning Invitational Tournament over the past two, Friday and Saturday. 2 successful nights along with the Back to the Future Cup Championship Tournament, which was run by Frankie Flynn. But if you would like to go ahead and view it in its entirety, the entire weekend, Day 1, Day 2, and the Back to the Future Cup in Cleveland, Ohio, Eddie, now keep in mind, these are not hard copies right now. How much would you pay for all 3 of those, Day 1, Day 2, and the Back to the Future Cup? How much would you pay on a VOD service right now? How much would you pay?
Lord, I have no earthly idea. $29.95?
How about if you go to smvod.com products or /products /AIW-May-28-2016-JILT-Day 1- anyway, just go to SMOVD and look it up. You can watch the entire weekend with all that and more for just $24.99.
Ooh, even lower than I thought.
Exactly. And you ready for this? The Manly Cherry on the Sunday. Not only will you get to see Dan Severn in Day 1 and Day 2, but you will get to see Dan Severn's mustache.
There you go.
So head on over to smvod.com and SMOD, that's Smodcastle, Smod.
Yeah, really.
But yeah, smvod.com, and just look up, just search for Absolute Intense Wrestling, and you're going to want the JT Lightning Invitational Tournament or the JLIT 2016.
Okay.
But check that out, order it. I can guarantee this, to me, like I saw everybody who was going to compete. If you went, I tried to post some of the matchup cards, and then the main posters and all that stuff over on Beyond Ringside over on Facebook. Run it all together, and you can see this was a stacked card. I mean, you had Dan Severn, you had Billy Gunn, you had Colt Cabana, you had Homicide, you had just tons of people in this tournament. So, to me, probably the best card that they've put on to date. So, head over there, check it out. Run it all together.
You done?
Yes.
You sure?
LAYNE.
You horse's nuts.
I'm just saying, over on Twitter. At Fast Eddie Layne.
And on Instagram.
And let's get run all together.
You forgot Snapchat.
Snapchat. Expelliarmus.
My home on the internet is FastEddieLayne.com. All the other stuff is superfluous.
We'll just run it all together.
Until
LAYNE.com.
Until next time.
And I did the finger count thing that he does too when he spells his last name. LAYNE.com.
For Mark MaBo Bowman.
Run it all together.
I am the Magic City Motor Mouth, Fast Eddie Layne. Until next time, adios, das vidania, hasta luego, auf Wiedersehen, ciao, sayonara, adieu, arrivederci, farewell, abyssinio, au revoir, and until we meet again, aloha means bye-bye. Join us next time as we all go beyond ringside. Bye for now. What? No Easter eggs?
That was the Easter egg. There was no Easter egg. Ha ha!
Bye-bye.